Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we're going to take you through what we believe to be the most exciting games coming to the Nintendo Switch in the month that we are already in. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, it's November, and as always, this is not an exhaustive list. We're not going to be including every game, just the ones that made us go, ooh. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. Starting things off on the 2nd of November, we have Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Now, anyone who's a long-time fan of the channel will know that this probably isn't my thing, and you're right. But, and in the nicest possible way, Xeon has not stopped talking about it, so it's gotta be a bit exciting, hasn't it? It's another Square Enix RPG, but I've gotta say, I'm super pleased with how this looks, because I don't care for the HD 2D or 2D HD, whatever it's called. You know, the Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, Vehicular Manslaughter, those games, that style. This is obviously going for a similar vibe, but it's just so much more vibrant, so much brighter, bolder, happier, more colorful. I don't know, it just makes me happier than seeing the others, which are a bit grungy. Makes it clear why you'd be so excited for this if you're into this kind of thing, Mr. Xeon. Then on the 3rd of November, we have WarioWare Move It. Now, not only have I played this game quite thoroughly, we've also done a review of it, which you should go and watch now. I had a load of fun with this game. It's WarioWare Smooth Moves 2. If you played the Wii original, then you know what you're going to expect here. Despite the name being different, the microgames are really solid, and there's some that are actually surprisingly, I don't want to say in-depth, but in-depth for a microgame, you know, like there's this one where you got these robot hands and you gotta like flip steaks and stuff like that. I mean, all it does is make me hungry, but I had great fun with it. And you know, the multiplayer is, well, the multiplayer is where it's at, to be honest. Either way, I know this one's good, so ooh. Also on the 3rd of November, another game that isn't really my thing, but I've seen a lot of people going on about it. Not in my standard circles, I have to admit. It's Fashion Dreamer! It's a kind of continuation of the Style Savvy games, or the... I can't remember. They've had so many different names depending on where you are, and this seems to be taking it in a much more modern direction. I've even covered one of the games, like, way back when, which is why this footage exists. It's definitely targeting a very specific demographic, but you know what? It's a demographic that we don't always feature on this channel, so you know what? Have at it. We threw it in. Then on the 13th of November, we have Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. Now, once again, this is a game I've already played, but nowhere near as much as WarioWare. I played the PS5 version and I had a really good time with it. It was a real, like, sort of surprise, this sort of wonderful thing just sort of hidden away at this Konami event I went to, and I had a great time with it. I am still concerned about how well it's going to run on Switch, considering the footage that we've seen, but, I'm hoping that the gameplay will be able to overcome that if the performance is not exactly ideal. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm cautiously optimistic, but emphasis on the cautious. Then on the 14th of November, we have Karmazoo. Now, this is a game that I think has tremendous potential, but whether it achieves that is kind of dependent on whether people play it, because it kind of needs it. You'll play the game with 9 other people, creating a party of 10, and you all kind of have to help one another with all these various characters that you can choose from in order to complete the level. It's actually surprisingly similar to the way that people have been playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder online, so I think if enough people play it, it could work, but it really is relying on that kind of cooperative nature, so it's definitely do or die. Then on the 16th of November, we have Flashback 2. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, no, forget about it, but it's got the original writer back on board with it, so you know what? Could actually be good. I'm always a little wary of the publisher Microids, because they will seemingly like publish anything, it seems, and they published the original Flashback when it came to Switch, so I suppose it makes sense that they do it, but you know, this could be a great sequel. It could also not, but I'm excited to see the result. Then on the 17th of November, we've got Grotto, which, now I'm gonna have to be brutally honest here. I have only seen the trailer, and I don't really know what the gameplay is like, but that was enough for me to just want to play this game anyway. The art style and the vague premise of the stars talking to a lyre that talks to the people, and it having all this strange sort of knock-on effect and impact was just enough for me to go, oh god, I think I need this game. I've got a background in linguistics, so the idea of interpretation is a very strong one for me. I don't know if that's going to come into the game that strongly. As I say, I just watched the trailer. I don't actually know what the gameplay's like. And I've got to be honest, I'm keeping it that way. Deal with it. Also on the 17th of November, we have Persona 5 Tactica. If you like Persona 5, or just Persona generally, and you like tactical games, whoa, I've got good news, buddy. Tactics games have been making a bit of a comeback over the last sort of, well, I suppose like 5 years or so, and it's just really cool to see more games tackling that genre, more spin-offs. Yeah, we got Fire Emblem and stuff like that for the real sort of core meatiness, but why not do it with the Persona characters? Specifically the Persona 5 characters. I think it looks cool. Even the art style doesn't completely irritate me, despite it being marginally chibi. And they've got a good reason for it. It's to help visibility and stuff like that. I get it. But yeah, chibi isn't my thing, but I still like the look of this, so it's got to be at least pretty good. Also on the 17th of November, we've got The Forest Quartet. Now, again, very much like Grotto, this game just kind of gripped me from the trailer alone. But I do know more about the gameplay with this one. It's a puzzle adventure game, you know? You go around, you're doing puzzles, but it's the aesthetic. Again, it's the aesthetic and the setting, and it just looks absolutely to die for. I'm a sucker for a good art style, and this one's a doozy. It's also very upfront with the fact that there are no actual written descriptions or instructions for things. You just got to kind of field your way through, but at the same time, the way that they've worded it makes it seem like it's not wholly difficult. It's not trying to be obtuse or anything like that. It's just kind of chill and relaxing. And I like a game like that. I also like Doom Eternal. I'm a man of variety. Also on the 17th of November, we have Bluey the video game. I've seen one episode of Bluey. I believe it was the first one. It was extremely charming, but at the same time, it felt a bit weird, considering I don't have a child. I've not played this one, but one of my bosses has. He went to an event, and yeah, he got some hands-on with the game, and apparently it's super easy, but it is designed for children, so I think that's forgivable. From what he's played, he says that it's a good time, and it's specifically designed for children, and as such is meant to be accessible, but also a quality product. I can't argue with that, and considering this is the first video game to feature Bluey and her family, yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't try and go for a quality product, you know? The series is held in such high regard, they'd be fools to do shovelware. Also on the 17th of November, Francis Takano changed title of video to Exciting Games coming out on the 17th of November. We have the biggie, yes, it's Super Mario RPG. We've got a preview all about it out right now, which I highly recommend you go and look at. It was done by Felix and Alana, and it's really, really good. But this may well just be one of the most faithful remakes I think I've ever seen. Everything about it just seems to be ripped right from the original, so I have played the original, but not very much of it at all, so I am super, super keen to give this one a go. And finally, on the 21st of November, we have Worldless. Now, I was only intrigued by this game because I got an email from Thunderful, and I like Thunderful, they are my friends. But I looked a little bit more into the game, and yeah, it's really, really, really intrigued me. Again, unusual art style, beautiful graphics, I'm there. But it's also a Metroidvania with turn-based action like combat. It seems to be, I suppose, in a similar way to, well, like Super Mario RPG and Mario RPGs all over the board, where it is turn-based, but then you have some sort of immediate action, sort of reaction-based stuff going on. Only it seems to be more involved. But I don't know, because there isn't an awful lot out there about it, but by golly, am I intrigued. And there you have it. Those are what we believe to be the most exciting games coming to the Switch in this month. Delete as applicable November. But what are you excited for this month? Let us know with a comment down below. We can't guarantee we'll agree, because we've already made a list. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you presume what that subscribe button's that it's gonna be good before you've even looked at any of the gameplay. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.